my sales time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my sales time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my sales time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my sales time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Welcome to Work the Left Side. I'm hyped to announce I am joined by another member of the Zebra Army. I'm joined by the awesomeness that is Danny Marks. How are we doing, dude? You good?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. How about yourself?
Yeah, mate. All good, all good. Looking forward
Excellent.
to the chat. I love to talk to everybody involved, in wrestling kind of thing. And refs, I've said it to you before off camera. I've said it to, like Lee and Scott and Sandy and stuff. I think you guys are pivotal, to a show. So it's always nice to kind of get your perspective and just stories from you guys as well, because it's nice to show the referee some love sometimes.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice. I've never done one of these, so it's quite. I'm quite looking forward to it. Quite looking forward to it.
Good, because I think you guys are kind of like the unsung heroes, in all shows, really. Because the saying goes, good or bad referee can make or break a match, kind of thing. It doesn't matter who's in the ring. They could be having an awesome match, but if the referee doesn't know what they're doing, they can't do what they do, and the fans will just be like, "Bro, this is just a shambles." So,
Yeah.
How did you get into it in the first place? Let's get the generic thing out of the way.
So I've been working now for about 2.5 years in actually in wrestling. Before that, I've been a fan for years. I've been a fan since I was a kid. I used to go to some sort of British wrestling, a lot of British wrestling shows and things like that. And I used to go, when WWE were around, I'd come and go and see them on tour and that kind of thing. So I used to love all of that. I kind of thought about it a few years ago. I thought, it might be quite fun to get involved. I don't know if how much you've seen of me. I'm a big guy. I'm probably not going to be the best at wrestling, although some of the best are big guys. But I'm not very. I'm not as agile as perhaps some of them. So I thought maybe wrestling perhaps not the route to go. But I was always quite kind of intrigued by the referees and the kind of the role of referees and the fact that it's a bit more of it's probably more than you think sort of on the surface, I suppose. There's more sort of to it than you think, and like you say, you're the third man there, you're the third person in the ring, and you've basically got the best seat in the house. But yeah, a few years ago, kind of went to I was looking around before I really knew how many schools there were around, because there's obviously a lot more now than there was then. I spoke to a couple. There was one down in London. I can't remember which one it was now. It was a good few years ago now. It was probably talking 6 or so years ago. Someone said, we'll put you through paces. We'll show you the ropes. Come on down. Something happened in my personal life. My wife got pregnant, and we were, there's a few things in there going on in the personal life. I thought, what, I'm probably not the best time. Yeah, exactly. Probably not the best time to do it. So we thought I'll just put that on the back burner for a bit. And I I not forgot about it, but I didn't really. It wasn't at the forefront of my mind for a little while. Then I was. No, exactly. Yeah, I had other sort of priorities, other things that I needed to concentrate on. So, I then was at a show. I'd done a couple of shows. I watched a couple of shows after the pandemic, after and lockdowns were lifted and that kind of thing. And I was at Resurgence in Leicester at the Y Theatre, and I was at a show because I'm from Leicester, so it was just so up the road from me. I was at one of their shows, and I kind of thought, I was watching it. I thought, what? If I don't try it now, I don't think I'm ever going to have a go. So I thought, what, let's try it. Let's see what I can do. So I, without knowing really how to go about it, I contacted the referees who were on the show that night. So it was Charles Wheeler and LK were on the show that night. So I contacted both of them and said, look, I'm really interested in getting involved. I don't know how. Help. How do I do it? So they were both really, really nice. Both gave me a few sort of pointers. Charles pointed me in the direction of From the Ground Up School of Wrestling in Leicester, FTGU, and the rest, as they say, is history. They were good enough to sort of take me on and show me what I was doing, and here we are 2.5 years later, and I'm loving it. But I'm still learning, so all good.
Always learning, mate. Always learning. That's the key thing. You could be in the business for 10 years and you'll still be learning. But that's the thing that you sort of said, yeah, you're some hero. But so I was kind of curious with refs because I know obviously some refs get a bit more physical than others. I know obviously there's the joke. I'm drawing from things that I know, people that I see on a regular basis, kind of thing. Like Scott Bell.
Yeah, I knew this coming. Yeah,
king of the ref bump kind of thing. So obviously, I presume when you start training for it, the kind of like, you go through the right positioning and stuff like that as well. But I presume you've got to take, you're taking bumps occasionally just to kind of get a feel for it, because if anything does happen as well, it could just be by accident, but you need to be able to kind of protect yourself.
Yeah, no, you absolutely have. It's important to make sure you're safe, and luckily, and a lot of the guys that you work with are, really, really safe anyway. So you're really well sort of well looked after, I suppose. But yeah, it is. I think it's important to have kind of a bit of a basic knowing how to protect yourself and how to fall properly and that kind of thing. It definitely helps.
Because as well, I mean, it's kind of noted, like obviously your guys' reactions in the ring kind of thing. So if you know how a bump feels, you can kind of gauge. You don't want to oversell like a basic bump kind of thing. Whereas a normal person would be like, "Oh, damn!" You've got to be a bit like, "Oh, it's fine. We're going somewhere. I don't want to sell that bump as a ref." Because when the finishing move gets hit, then I need to be like, right, yeah, okay, I need to sell that. You're the audience's connection. You're like the ring. You're us. So your reaction should mimic ours, kind of thing, or we should mimic you. If you're like about to move, then we're going to be like, oh crap, right, okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you've got you save your big reactions for the big moves, but as a ref, I suppose in psychology wise, you've sort of seen it all before, so you've seen a lot of the sort of smaller bumps. Yeah, you react to them a little bit, but you don't. It's not too. It's not not in quite the way as you would when someone's hitting their finisher, someone's hitting something devastating off a top rope or something like that. It's it's a different kind of reaction.
You said it before, like the things that if people haven't watched any of the other referee episodes that we've done, kind of thing, like you sort of said, the things that people won't know about, because I didn't know about them until I was talking to those guys, kind of thing, were the earpieces, the actual teamwork that goes into it, kind of thing. The fact that basically, even though there's only one ref in the ring, normally there's two of them working the match. There's just you don't see. And kind of taking it in turns. Most shows for the best part will have like at least two refs on, so you can kind of pull double duty kind of thing. But it's that teamwork. When you're working with people, you've got to have that trust. And obviously you establish this kind of relationship where probably, I'm presuming, you end up talking in shorthand, or they can just say something and you'll be like, right, okay, you kind of know what's going on.
You do, yeah. When you've kind of been working with a ref a few times, when you kind of got everyone, you know each other's cadences, you know what what kind of things to look out for, and most of the time we're just trying to make each other laugh. If I'm honest, I do spend quite a lot of time trying to make people laugh, and they do the same. I've been told 2 minutes before, I've been told while I was in a ring. This was I don't know how much I'm pulling the curtain back here, but I was at Fight Factory. I was working with Scott Bell, and I was doing the 2 matches before the main. The match before the main. I was working that. Scott went in the main. I went 12 minutes gone, Danny. 12 minutes. By the way, you're taking a bump in the main. Come back here, and Reese and Rogan will tell you what's going on. So, that was a nice little moment, sort of in the middle of it. It would just put you off your stride a little bit, but
you tell it as well. Yeah, you're obviously being told this in the ring, and you kind of got to be all like, professional ref looking.
So I watched it back, and I could see myself on the camera, kind of go like that up at the camera. It was that was interesting.
But to anybody watching, they'll just be like, Danny looks very thoughtful, and you're just in the ring, right?
Yeah. Oh, what am I about to get hit with by Rogan? Yeah.
That's the thing as well, though. Of all people, it's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're going to be, with Reese and Rogan. Jesus, nice. Two big hospitals. It's just like, but two very awesome people. Fight Factory, obviously a promotion. I'll be talking to soon. But always like to shout them out when possible. Glad it's come up in conversation. We talked about it off camera. To be fair, the body slams to cancer. The tickets went yesterday, I believe.
It did, yeah. So it's the annual sort of it's Fight Factory's WrestleMania, if you will. It's the big show. It's all for charity. Everybody's working there for nothing. Everyone's trying to make as much money as we possibly can for cancer charities. It's fantastic. Previous years they've had sort of 400 people there in the leisure centres in Lincoln. It's really emotional. There's always a video that goes up a couple of weeks before, and I'm so glad it goes up a couple of weeks before, because it prepares me. Because if I saw some of these, and the first time I see it is when I'm stood in the ring, when everyone's around the ring. I'm not good with that kind of thing. Exactly. It's the show where you don't want to get the opening match, because when they've just done that opening package, everyone's a little bit of a mess and a bit weepy. But I don't want to be working that opening match. Thank you very much.
Staying in the back, right? Composed.
Yeah, exactly. But it's such a great thing to it's a great thing to be part of. It raises thousands of pounds every year. It's on to already to sort of raise a big amount of money from what I've seen, which is great. But yeah, I love it. It's the 1NK Leisure Centre in Lincoln this year. It's on the 26th of October. And sorry, I'm going to put a little plug in. Tickets are at fightfactorywrestling.com. Go and pick up a ticket there, because it is well worth the ticket money just to help out the charities. No,
definitely plug away, mate. That's why I brought it up, because kind of like, if we can talk about it, put lights on it. Like I said, Fight Factory, that kind of promotion. If I know somebody's worked there, I'll always like to talk about it for 5 minutes or so, just because. Again, I think they're that kind of promotion that they're under some people's radars, but they kind of just can't get. It's just going to take another 12 months, and I think they'll be talked about a lot more by a lot more people, kind of thing.
I totally agree. They're one of these promotions that and there's a few. To be fair, there's a few that I work for that are in sort of the same boat. But Fight Factory are really. They're like you say, just under that radar, and some of the stuff that they're putting on is really, really good. Becca and Hayden have built a really good place there and a really good group. So the production values there are fantastic. It makes you feel like an absolute superstar walking out of that tunnel with the screens and the lights and all of that. So it's I don't know of anyone who's gone there and not enjoyed working it. So it's a lovely place to be.
Definitely did. Like I said, I've not heard a bad word. I had Kaz Crash on recently. I love that they're using him as well, kind of thing. He's somebody that should be in a lot more places. I'm really pushing to try and get him, on people's radars again, kind of thing. Obviously, Reese from Rogan, Jack Maxwell as well. The roster they've got there is absolutely awesome. So just waiting for people to be like, yes, right.
So there's other guys there. There's other guys there on top of that like their homegrown guys. People like Jason Morgan. People like all sorts, Jack of Clubs, all sorts of people that are there that are really, really good. That just need some eyes on them, and they'll be fantastic.
Definitely. Obviously, if I don't mention somebody, it's no besmirchment. So again, I'm pulling on.
Nice.
That's what you're here for. If I said one, you can tell me about them, and then I'll be like, okay, cool.
I know there's going to be people I forget as well, so don't worry about it.
But it's obviously Fight Factory Elevation is another one, which obviously based on whose promotion it is, I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's just the association with House of Pain. Obviously, Joseph Connor's Elevation, the talent there as well. And that must be a very cool place to work.
Yeah, there's a lot of they've got some really good talent there. Yeah, they've got some really good. I love working with a lot of their guys. People like Riley Nova. Getting to work with Riley Nova is great. He's gonna be massive. So yeah, I always shout about Riley Nova, even though he punched me in the face twice yesterday. PEW. He's going to be massive. He's great. But there's loads of them there as well. Rory Davis, champion at the minute. He's coming on fantastically. Sash works there a lot. As much as he's a pain in the arse, he's very good as well.
I didn't say nothing on this one. I'm not being called a dosser.
Oh,
I didn't.
He's going to say he's going to clip that now, isn't he? Yeah.
Your social media team will be all over it. Somebody mentioned Slash. Let's get on to it. But no, that's the thing, dude. That's what I mean. Like I said, you're 2 years into your journey, so you're kind of working these places. Especially like when you kind of walk in, you still kind of must just be like I said. Even after 2 years, after 3 years, 4 years, that excitement, that the butterflies, everything like that's still kind of there.
Big time.
You get to work with people like this. It just must make it a little bit easier.
100%. I'm a fan at the end of the day. I'm still a fan. I love wrestling. I love. I think the British wrestling scene is absolutely off the charts at the minute. It's doing some fantastic things, and so to get to work with, I mean, there's people that I, obviously, like I say, I used to go to watch shows and stuff, and I now get to work with people like Martin Kirby every month. He's brilliant. I love Martin Kirby. I used to watch him all the time, and now to get to work with him once, twice a month, I love it. But there's others as well. There's lots of people. There's people like when I was going to, I used to go to, like I say, I used to go to the WWE shows. I used to go to NXT UK quite a lot. So a lot of those guys, people like Jack Selstrom, I work with a lot. Lots of those kind of guys, those kind of people. Like I said, I'm still a fan, so I still am a bit, I still like doing all that. I like it when there's someone someone cool on a card. And there's I'm doing in a couple of weeks time in Brawlston in Leicester from the ground up. They've got Eric Young from TNA on. It's Eric Young from TNA and a little working men's club in Brawlston. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait for that. I think it's going to be a fantastic little show. That
sounds awesome. And like I said, it's these kind of moments where you kind of just have to kind of pinch yourself and be like, yeah, I'm here. I'm doing this. I get the chance to do this.
Yeah.
The thing is, like I said, I said it. You're 2 years in. You must be making the right impressions and doing the right things and getting that reputation. Because that's what I say, man. That the importance of a referee cannot be undersold. So you must be doing what you're doing very freaking well. You get put into these matches with these caliber of people.
I think so. Yeah, I like to think so. It's one of them things that
he wasn't. They wouldn't risk messing up the match.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's one of them, and it helps me. Helps me to learn. I'm 2 years. I think I don't know. I've just gone past 550 matches. I think I've just gone past it. I've not put my last couple of shows on my spreadsheet yet. I think I've just gone past 550. So I'm still, even though I've done only been in 2 years, I've done quite a good number of matches. But I genuinely feel like every time I go into that ring, every time I kind of watch a match back that I've done, I'm learning something. I love getting feedback from people. I love getting feedback from other refs. Scott Bell has been just fantastic, just incredible. Scott is one of those guys that's so generous with his time and his feedback. And it's I just love talking to Scott. He was I worked with him on my second show, something like that. And just ever since he's been brilliant and giving me feedback and giving me help and giving me pointers. More recently, I've been Tom Scarborough's watched a few of my matches and given me some really detailed feedback of stuff that I'd never think about when I watch it. And I read through what he's put, what he's looked at, and I think, do you know what? Yeah, do you know what? While they're on their way out to the ring, I am moving my knees about a bit. I could stand a bit more still and look a bit more authoritative. You're right, but I'd never have spotted that if I didn't have someone who knows what they're talking about to kind of to tell me that. And it's I've heard it kind of say. I can't remember who it was that said it. Might have been Scott. It might have been Hayden from Fight Factory. It's all very well having a coach to kind of show you, kind of teach you how to be a ref, but it's complete another thing when you get feedback from someone who is a ref, because they've been there. They know exactly the little things to look for. They know that just stay still, don't be kind of moving around and doing this while they're doing their entrances, because you don't look as authoritative, and that just little things like that. that I'd never thought of. So I can't remember if there was a question attached to that. I've just gone waffled on, but
it was just being basically saying how awesome you're doing so far, mate. 2 years. But like you said, you're still learning. But it's the thing, especially like I said, because that's the thing with the refs. Like we've touched on it before. It's kind of like the unsung hero. It's the things that you don't do, or it's the things that we don't notice that you do that would stand out a mile if you did something wrong, kind of thing. It's the stupid. It's the little things where to you it might be the smallest thing, or like you said, you're not even aware of it until somebody points it out. Then you're like, oh, okay. The next time you come out, you stand still. It's like boom, straight away. You just seem more authoritative, kind of thing, and it's just that little gesture. But I say that's the importance of a ref. It's what you do and don't do that can just. It's why I was having this conversation with someone about 5-star matches. It stemmed from somebody, giving out ratings for matches on shows and stuff like this, and I just don't like star ratings on matches, kind of thing, because there's so many different factors involved. It's like you kind of besmirching the wrestlers. If you think, oh, it was a 2-star match, that's aimed at the wrestlers, but like, well, who was the referee in the match? Because that's the factor. A 5-star match, back in the day, not being refereed by Hebner, would it have been a 5-star match? It might have been a 3-star match, but they made it a 5-star match because of his involvement. So that's the importance of a referee to me.
Yeah, no, you're right, and I think the nicest compliment you can get from a wrestler when you say, after the match, how were things? Was everything okay? Was there anything I could do differently? The nicest thing, I'm sure you've heard this before, the nicest thing that you can hear from them is, I didn't really realize you were there. That's perfect. That's what I want. We don't want to be. I don't want to be in the way. I don't want to be drawing attention from people, but I still want to be sort of reacting and doing my thing, being in the right place. And like you said earlier, we're the regular person who's not trained to wrestle in the ring, same as the fans. So we are the fans point in the ring. So like with the bumps, if we're getting punched in the face, we are down for a while because your regular person's not used to taking that kind of thing. Well, with a bit of luck, Whereas the wrestlers are used to it. So yeah, it's all about kind of. I think it's all about reacting well and playing your part when it's needed, I think.
Definitely. And another key thing as well that always kind of comes up in conversation is protecting the authority, kind of thing. Wrestlers working with you to protect you as well. You're not just protecting them, they've got to protect you, because when a point comes in a match where you have to make a call or you have to get involved, the fans need to be behind you and be like, this dude is, you do not mess with this dude. He's got the stripes. He's the authority. Well, if the wrestlers have been undermining that, as fans, we're like, oh, gives the monkeys.
There's nothing worse than the heat being on the ref. And there's sometimes, as much as the ref can do, if the wrestlers don't necessarily help that sometimes, let's say, but all we can do is be as authoritative as we can, make sure that we're showing that we don't take shit. We're not there to be messed around. We're there to enforce the rules. So at the end of the day, if we're not there, the rules aren't there. And if the rules aren't there, what's the point?
Exactly. It devalues away from the story or from the moment.
Yeah, and it can, like you say, the rules themselves can be such a pivotal point of a story as well, especially in stipulation matches and that kind of thing. They're a big part of the story of the overall story of the match. So if we're not there enforcing those rules, then we're not doing ourselves a disservice. We're doing everybody a disservice.
Exactly. And also for the heels as well, where like if a referee's on point, if a referee's getting everything right, calling everything right, stopping the naughtiness when they're spotting it, kind of thing, at one moment where the heel gets the better of the ref and can actually cheat, it just makes the heel look more heelish as well.
Yeah, totally.
Them look uber heelish, and it's like, well done, fair play.
Yeah, absolutely. So
again, it's just little things like that, dude. That kind of just, unless people point them out, I don't think you get noticed sometimes, or fans don't. Like, but now, like, it's a light bulb moment of being like, okay, yeah, right, I get it. And the thing is, I find myself sometimes after having these conversations, I'll go to a show, and as much as I'm watching the wrestling, I kind of find myself what's the ref doing? Just kind of curious. just the little things kind of thing. Not in a bad way. The ref does not distract me. Like, if there's like a rest hold going on or something, I'll just have a quick look at the ref and be like, what does the ref do? Ref do? Do you want to, like, a rest hold? And it's like, okay.
I've watched. I'm guilty of that. I watch the refs. I'm watching to try and learn, but yeah, I do watch the refs a lot more than I used to. Let's put it that way. I'm focused on.
Are you still able to dissociate, kind of thing? As you said, we're both wrestling fans. That's why we do what we do and talk about wrestling as we do, kind of thing. Obviously, now you're in the business. Can you I always kind of like to ask this, because some people are like, yeah, it's fine, I can just switch off, and other people are like, no, mate, I literally just, I've got a mental notebook in my head every time I'm watching a match now, and it's like, oh.
For the right match, I can. It is sometimes a bit difficult, but sometimes you'll watch a match and you'll just be, you're in it. You're so focused on what's going on. It's like, this is incredible. This is great. And when the story's really hooked you, and the how they're telling it is really dragging you in. You've got no choice but to be just watching it and enjoying it. But it has got to be the right match. I do find it a little bit difficult.
I've got to ask, because again, this is something that comes up, and from a referee's perspective, obviously, that's from a wrestling fan's perspective as well, because AEW, I know their refs got a lot of shit when they first started. I've always AEW got me back into wrestling, kind of thing. I kind of drifted away from WWE for a few years. AEW came back, started watching it, and I won't really hear a bad word said about it, because I was like, it's new, it's fresh, they're learning. But I did pick up a lot of criticism, of the refs, and still do, kind of thing, where like some of them try and make the match about them. They're overselling stuff, or they're too attention grabby, or they just have zero authority. As a referee, do you watch AEW? Did you watch AEW? Did you ever pick up on this? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. So I've watched bits of AEW. I've kind of dipped in and out. I've not been an avid fan and an avid watcher, and I do think I get what you're saying. I think the refereeing can be a bit for me, and I don't know if this might just again be for exactly the same as we've just been saying. It might just be because I'm in there and I sort of I've seen it, but I do find it a bit distracting sometimes. I do think they need to be a bit more authoritative. That being said, I do think they're getting better from what I've seen recently. And I'm not an avid fan, like I say. I don't get enough time to really watch as much as I probably want to. But I think they're getting better than they were. But wrestling comes in. I was having this conversation yesterday. Wrestling is one of them things that comes in so many different colours and flavours, and everyone's kind of got their own thing that they like. So me not liking that, someone else might love it. Someone else might be. It's not. It's one of those things. I think at least it's definitely an alternative to WWE. Let's put it that way. So.
And that's how it's like. I don't like the tribalism when it comes to wrestling, kind of thing. Watch WWE, you can only watch that, or if you watch AEW, you can only watch that, or having to go at each other's fan base for the sake of it. It's just like, it's all wrestling. Like, say it's all flick. Like, just watch the bits you like. You don't have to watch the bits you don't like. Nobody's making it. Watch all the good stuff. In all fairness, since I've started doing this the last 12, I haven't watched AEW for well over a year. I watched WWE in about 2 years. I've just been that concentrated on the British scene. There's that much of it out there now, like on YouTube. It's like on BWR on demand.
Yeah.
Just everything like that. If I'm watching wrestling, I'm pretty much just watching British wrestling now, and I think that speaks volumes for where it's at.
Yeah. Oh, it does. Like you say, that completely speaks volumes for it. If you're getting what you need from what you want out from wrestling out of what's in the British scene, that's brilliant. You don't need to watch the WWE. If WWE and AEW is what you like, then fantastic.
Exactly. So, but obviously before we chatted as well, Scott's come up in conversation. I'd be amiss I didn't mention the birthday boy, Mr. Lee Thomas, because I knew somebody else on with, because I was speaking to him and I said, I'm talking to Danny soon, and he's like, good man, we like Danny's good. And I was like, that's cool. It's always nice to hear. Obviously, I know your socials and stuff, but when sort of somebody I know sort of, it's like, oh, Danny's awesome. We'll have a really good chat. I'm like, great. Because I'm always a little bit nervous as well, before chats kind of thing. And so I was like, oh, that's put me at ease. I know Danny's a good one. That's a good chat. So yeah,
I'll take that.
He was singing your praises as well.
I'll take that. Lovely as well. I've only, funnily enough, I've only ever worked with him once. I've had a lot of chats with him on back and forth on social media and on Facebook and stuff, but I've only ever worked with him once, which is bizarre, criminal almost. I need to work with him again. I need to work with him. Sandy's another one. I've only worked with her once, and I've not worked with Scott for ages. I need to work with him again.
Need to get back at Fight Factory, but even just that one, though, you made an impression, which again, is in this business where the key thing for you guys is networking. Obviously, you've got your promotions you work for, but it's always nice to get out there, meet new faces, and if somebody can't make a show, we'll give Danny a call, kind of thing. We know Danny's good.
Yeah, that's it. There's so many out there as well. There's so many refs now. It's and good ones as well. Really, there's some really great refs in this country, and it's a thriving scene of very nice people. Everybody, almost exclusively all of the refs that I've met have been fantastic.
It's because you all got that mutual sort of like, people keep picking on us or people keep hitting us, or people just all the time. So you all band together to be that team. A referee training school can't be far away, can it? I think there's one in there over in Lancashire, if I remember correctly. I think somebody told me about it.
So Greenwood, James Greenwood runs a session. I think he's running it monthly with some of the guys at Future Shock, and they're doing some brilliant things. I've been to a couple of sessions. They're really good, really helpful. Really get some really great feedback from James. James is brilliant. So it's great to sort of get some feedback from him, and he's producing some really good guys. So some of the guys and girls out there that are learning it with James they're starting to get out and about now, and they're doing some good stuff.
Just think you need a few more SCAD because it's a bit of a trek all the way over there.
I think there's a few potentially. There's I think just the day of the last AEW show down at Wembley, Tom Scarborough did a bit of a ref forum, had a bit of a sort of a session with a load of refs. Obviously, that was a bit of a one-off, I think, but there's these sessions do pop up. There's Steve Dean is starting one at House of Pain as well shortly. Just starting some sessions as well. So there's a few sort of dotted around. It's
becoming more important then in that case, kind of thing. People are realizing it's like, hang on a minute, we can't just throw a shirt on a trainee wrestler and expect them to ref the match, kind of thing.
And I think training schools are sort of recognising it a little bit more as well, because I train it from the ground up in Leicester, and I train at occasionally, not so often as I used to, unfortunately, but at Fight Factory in Lincoln, and from the ground up are starting to they're kind of teaching a new guy there as well to try and get another set of stripes and get somebody else who knows what they're doing there. Fight Factory, I did a session at Fight Factory for their trainees and kind of showing them a little bit more of what we do and how we do it, and giving them a bit more of expertise, because you never know, you might talk to one who's wrestling or training to wrestle at the minute who actually goes, actually, do you know what? I quite fancy that. I quite fancy trying a bit of refereeing, and if I can give them a bit of information, I'm still new, so I'm by no means a finished article for to say the least, or probably not the best person to pass on knowledge, but I can pass on what I've got, and I'm more than happy to do so. So yeah, it's good. It's good that I think schools are starting to. And I don't know what they were like before I came in, so I can only speak for kind of what I've been in the last sort of two and a half or so years. But it seems to be that schools are sort of embracing it a little bit more, which is great. More of us, more pushes up the quality of things.
You can work together a bit more. You can have, you can, I don't know, share the workload a bit more, kind of thing. It doesn't mean less bookers. It just an easier night, kind of thing, as opposed to working 8 matches by yourself, kind of thing. You'd be like, 4 and 4.
It's
or
tough. It's tough doing it. If you do a 7-8 match card on your own, it is tough.
Can't even imagine. I mean, that's the thing as well. Because obviously, again, if people don't know, you have to talk to to the talent, before the show. Right, what am I looking out for? Is there anything like what? Not. I don't want to. I don't want to pull the curtain back too much. I think I've kind of done that way too many episodes to say that. But you need to know what's going on, basically, and that's a lot of stuff to remember. Even with an intermission, you still got, if you've got 4-4, you've basically got like 4 matches worth of stuff in your head before the intermission, and then 4 afterwards. Mate, that's just kind of like
tough. It's tough. It's quite draining. It can be quite draining. You definitely know you've done it mentally and physically after a full show. I did one yesterday. It was 7 matches.
was that?
That was at PW in Stratford. Ettington, just outside Stratford. It was good fun. Always good fun shows there. We put some good fun cards, and it's some great people there. That was good.
Again, I was just in shock. I can't even imagine, like, sort of, I know my memory's shocking kind of thing, and like, it used to be good, not so much anymore, but I'd be trying to remember. I'd be like getting, things mixed up. I'm like, right, this person's going to be like, oh, that person's not even in this match. What am I doing? Right, okay. I can just imagine it being a massive jumble of information and it having to fall into place.
Things can change as well. Things do change. You go out there thinking you know what's going on. It's not always, it sometimes does. Things do change, shall we say? Again, try not to pull back the curtain and that too much and stuff, but things do change. And sometimes you're lucky enough to be told in your earpiece what's that it's about to change. Sometimes you just find out on the fly and react. So
or something goes wrong and you still have to carry on anyway, kind of thing. Because again, I've heard various different stories. This was from a long time ago. I spoke to an OG of the refs, Mr. Craig Anderson, from back in the day. He was on about where like somebody kicked out of a 3 count when they shouldn't have done, and he was like, "Shit, right, okay, well, this match is going for another 5 minutes. No idea what's going on, but nobody knows what the end is now. Everyone literally involved. I think it was like a 4-way as well, so it wasn't just a 1-on-1 that they kind of like talk it out. There's 5 bodies involved, and it's just like, in that situation, dude, you've got to improvise.
It happens. It does happen. It's you've got to. But as a ref, every count I make, I've got to know I'm going down for 3 if shoulders don't come up. So
yes, right. That is a key thing for me, because a lot of people kind of like, again, all over the world. It's not just in British ref. You've heard about it in, I think it's happened in WWE before, kind of thing, where somebody's counted 3 and the person's just forgot to kick out, or they haven't been able to get the shoulder up for some reason, and because the ref hit 3, you have to respect that 3 count. Match is over. It's not the ref's fault. It's not up to you not to count it. Like you said, you've got to go down like you're going to count to 3 every time. It's up to the talent, to kick out, basically.
It's happened to me a couple of times. It's I went through. I think it happened twice in the space of about a week, and it knocked my confidence somewhat rotten. I'm over it now. But it's just one of the things. Like I said, I've got, if someone doesn't if the shoulders don't come up, or I don't see them get the shoulders up, they're not up, and it's a 3.
Because as a fan, I'm team Danny on this. I would get your back on this every day. It's definitely not, it's not the ref's fault. As a fan, if I see that and then don't hit the 3, but I can see the shoulders, I might match over. It's match over anyway. For me, mentally, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm disenchanted. I've lost my connection to the, to the emotion, to the match.
It's one of the recurring ref nightmares. It's the splitting of the trousers, and it's the hover hand. Going and hovering, and it keeps me awake at night. The thought of that. I'm really cautious about saying this, because as soon as I say it, it's going to happen at the weekend. On a show, fingers crossed, touch wood. It's not happened to me on a show before. It has happened once in training, and it was in front of D'Lo Brown. It was a session. It was in a session with D'Lo Brown was there, and they they were doing a tag match, and they changed the finish on the fly and didn't tell me, and I hovered, and I was horrified, and it was enough to make me never do it again. Like I used to watch this guy when I was a kid. This D'Lo Brown was one of my favourites when I was a kid. So
Best European.
When I think of European champion, I think of D'Lo Brown, and so to get that, to hover and it happen in front of him was just, I wanted the ground to swallow me up. And then for D'Lo straight after to go, well, I think we can all say the ref fucked up. It was like, oh god, oh no. Yeah, it was. It's never happened since. It was a long time ago, and it's never happened since. And touch wood. I really wish I hadn't said that. Touch wood. I hope it doesn't ever happen.
Get some salt off my shoulder. I'll do everything.
Yeah, exactly. Anything I can. Anything I can.
Yeah, I'm going to find some babies, give them a kiss on the head, or I'll find a black cat and it's been good luck back into the universe on that one. But
yes, please do.
But it happened once and it hasn't happened again. That's the takeaway for me. You learn from it. It hasn't happened again.
And luckily, it's a training and not on a show as well. So yeah.
How did that come about with D'Lo then? What was that? Where was that at?
So that was it from the ground up. Again, they've done it. They have a few people down every now and again for seminars. They've got that's the same one with Eric Young. Eric Young's doing a seminar before the show. For that one, but D'Lo has been down a couple of times to FTGU, so it was it's always a popular session.
I don't think people realise how often D'Lo is like over kind of thing, because obviously I'm not gonna not mention them because I've got a lot of good memories there, regardless of whatever happened kind of thing. I saw some amazing matches, some amazing talent. Obviously, yeah, D'Lo was involved at 1PW kind of thing. He's like he always kind of came out afterwards. He was kind of a staff t-shirt on. So yeah, I don't think people realise that he's over here sometimes. And then like I can imagine like training sessions and just being like, but just a wealth of knowledge and just being in the room with him and just being just like that'd be awesome.
So there's loads of people. Any time I love doing it. Like I don't get to them often enough, but the fact that schools do have these sessions where they'll bring people in just for a couple of hours just to go and even just the talking ones where they'll sit and you can just grill them for a couple of hours and they just tell stories and you just take it all in. They're some of my favourites. They're great. They're great.
That's how you learn it. Like, you don't always have to just do it. Like you sort of say, you can just listen to stories, take what you need from it, and be like, okay.
Exactly.
The Eric Young, you'll be at the Eric Young one, surely, won't you?
I am. Yeah, I'm going to that one. I can't wait.
He's a guy again. There's these people like just genuine sort of workhorses that you kind of. I love it. I was a massive TNA fan back in the day, so I love Eric Young. It helped. It was on Bravo. I didn't have Sky at the time. I didn't have Sky Sports at the time, so I didn't watch WWE. I watched the pay-per-views. That was it. But weekly TNA for me. And Eric Young, being scared of his pyro, the Team Canada stuff, becoming champ. The main event is just like up in NXT, the Insanity stuff. Yeah, that dude's just going to be like a fountain of knowledge.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing what he's got to say.
Amazing. So with hopefully, man, just you get to go in there, and we said the talking ones are good, but it must just be a little bit of a buzz when you get to ref. Like imagine just reffing in that, like just even though it's just in training, get it out your system, be like, right, okay, now I'm ready for the main show. Get rid of the nerves a little bit. Yeah,
definitely. It's going to be a bit of a funny one that because it's right before it's a couple of hours before the show. Is this training this seminar? So it'd be nice.
Should be good. There might not be much. Obviously, you don't want to gas out before the show, then I presume. So
you say that. I saw one with at Fight Factory last Saturday before last. They had Wild Boar. Mike Hitman there, and he did a seminar before the show, and they were working hard from what I could see. They were working hard. So
again, I'm only speaking. So I can imagine if you get in the ring with Eric Young in the seminar, when the show starts, it'll just be a little bit easier. Like I say, you get rid of those.
Yeah.
You're a fan, you know, when you're stood in that ring and the match starts, Eric Young comes out, you know, the fan in you's got to be popping.
There'll be a big smile on my face. Yeah.
Authoritative.
Yes, yeah. Not moving, staying still, and yeah.
No smiling.
Sorry, Tom. Yeah.
So like see, you know, you've got that coming up, the Elevation. Any other shows you've got coming up? I mean, you reeled off like you're well into your 500s. So I want actually, because we kind of went straight, just talk about loads of other things as well. That's a hell of a lot of matches for like a freaking 2-year period, mate. That's like
a lot of that.
That's nearly like 2 a day. You 2 a day.
Well, not quite in over 2 years, but yeah, it's
1.5 a day. Give or take.
It's a lot. It's one of them. I think my first year or so, I was told, and quite rightly, there's so much you can learn in training, but you'll learn a lot more when you're on shows, when you're out there and you're getting reps in. So go and get your reps in. So I took that to heart, and I did. And when I went out and I pestered promotions, and promotions probably going, oh bloody hell, this Danny again. They probably only gave me a go to shut me up, but I pestered a lot of places, and I think I worked with 14 or 15 promotions last year, just trying to get reps in, do as much as I could. And I did some summer camp shows and things like that as well, which are great fun. So yeah, just did a few of them, got a few of those under my belt, and just tried to work as much as I possibly could. This year I scaled it back a little bit. I tried to kind of concentrate on I've got a family, I've got a wife and a 5-year-old. I've tried to scale it back a little bit and kind of do concentrate on my sort of regular places a bit more. But yeah, I'm still getting plenty of reps in, which is good. Good fun. While I can do it, I want to do it.
Exactly, get out there and do it. But obviously, yeah, the holiday camp thing, that would have been like 3 or 4 shows a day. For
yeah.
So
they're good fun as well. They're all such good fun audiences, and sort of with people who really want to, you know, wrestlers who want to, you know, sometimes they're just trying out new things in front of new different audiences, and sometimes they're an established face everywhere, but they want to try and see what they're like as a heel. See how they can get over as a heel and just have a little go at that. And it's just good fun. It's just everyone's in such a good mood doing them usually as well. It's such a sort of team effort. It's all good.
I was going to ask how you found it, kind of thing, because that's the thing, you know, from a talent point of view, when I've spoken, you know, to talent, anybody who's anybody for me swears by him. You know, they sort of, it's like a freaking training ground. It's I can't think of there's a terminology for it, it's like a boot camp basically for the business. You at some point you need to do the holiday camp thing. You need to get those reps in purely. I presume, you know, it's the same for you. You're learning on the job kind of thing, same as the talent is. You're doing 3 or 4 matches a day in front of an audience who's only there really because it's part of the holiday. They haven't paid to be there. It's just, there's some wrestling on, kids, let's go watch it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be turned up to 11 at the holiday camps.
Oh, everyone's got this big characters go. You know, you've got to be as big a character as possible. I've got some as a ref. There's things as a ref you wouldn't think about, like you say, a lot of these people aren't wrestling fans. They don't necessarily know the rules. If I'm counting to 10, count to 1 to 10 on the outside, I've got to say, you know, if I get to 10, we're done. This is it. This will be over. Come on, this is disqualification. If we get to 10, we're done. You've got to kind of tell the audience what the rules are. So exactly, spoon feed, yeah. While they're enjoying what they're enjoying, because it just helps with that enjoyment as well. They're good.
Something people will pick up on. Obviously, I sort of said, you know, the talent's got to be turned up to 11, but if the talent are being overly dramatic or very pantomimey, the ref's got to be as well. You can't be, you know, as much as we're sort of saying respect the authority of the ref, normally, yeah, that's spot on. But in the campsites, you've kind of got to be a bit more like, you know, again, you're the go-between between the audience and the talent kind of thing, where it's a feeding them. If somebody's doing something bad, you've got to be like, no, stop.
Exactly.
Can't do that kind of.
Yeah, and they all love all camp show crowds love a ref stunner. They love a ref getting one over on the heel at the end. They love all of that. They love little jokey spots. Hayden Dutch Fight Factory has got a lovely spot. He does. Sorry Hayden, I'm putting this out there. Someone will steal it now. He's got this lovely spot he does with a resistance band where he'll snap it against his opponent and that kind of thing, and then after a couple of times I'll go and grab it, pull it off him, and he'll snap it on me, and then I can't, and then all of a sudden he'll go in a pin and I can't count because my hand hurts, and just little things like that. I'm really pulling the curtain back here and I feel really bad, but yeah, do you know what, it's all that good fun stuff I love. And it was that was me when I was a kid, and I'm getting to sort of live all of that now because I've got a 5-year-old and he's getting right into wrestling and he loves it. And he comes along and he's got all his favourites. He loves Chocolate Thunder. He loves all of those guys and people like that. And he's all over it. He's starting to really enjoy it. So I'm kind of living vicariously through him as well.
That's amazing. I was going to ask, like, has he been to any shows yet? Has he seen Daddy with the stripes on? Has he kind of been like, somebody besmirched?
He likes going and seeing Daddy, as he calls it, telling off the naughty men. He enjoys that. He enjoys that. It's good. It's great to see.
Shout out, sorry again, whenever anybody gets mentioned. Chucky Thunder, what an absolute dude. One of the most charismatic, beautiful characters in British wrestling.
Yeah.
They love Chucky Thunder. I don't give him enough love, so I'm taking this opportunity to shout him out.
Any chance I get, I'm always happy to shout out Chocolate Thunder. He's a top man.
What a dude. What an absolute dude. He's one of those guys that I'm kind of, there's talent out there that I'm just like, I want to see him in Yorkshire. Like obviously my local promotions kind of like, Tidal, True Grits, Planet Wrestle, Blackheart, things like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at, I'm like, Chucky Thunder would absolutely smash it, in a lot of these promotions. And I just kind of, there's just people I want up here a bit more often. It's like, oh man. So again, fingers crossed. Get Chucky goodness up in Yorkshire. That's what I want. So does he have, like, obviously, if somebody does besmirch you though, obviously, it's still real. So does he give them a telling off afterwards, like, that kind of thing? What are you doing? Or is it kind of like it's okay, it's all right?
So I do have to go out and see him straight afterwards and make sure he's okay. But he does. He likes telling off. He likes giving them a talking to. He likes. If he sees people, like, because if he sees us in after a show or something, he'll see one of the bad guys there. He'll definitely give him a bit of a piece of his mind. Yeah.
I bet the talent love it as well though, because they're just popping being like, yes, because obviously they got him. They're like, yes, we've got a fan. He's emotionally involved. It's kind of like, that's awesome. I just imagine though, because I had Rogan on, and he took great pleasure in making a small girl cry at Odyssey at one point.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm just waiting to see, like, if you two cross paths in the ring kind of thing, and
it's only a matter of time.
See your boy just go at him and be like, and Rogan just be like, whoa.
Rogan takes great pleasure in making anybody cry. He takes great pleasure in trying to make me cry. So it doesn't surprise me he's doing that with girls in the front row and that kind of thing. Yeah, not at all.
Dude. So obviously we've got the Eric Young thing. We've talked. Is any other sort of matches that you've been at the helm at where, dude, mate, you had serious butterflies? We've got Eric Young coming up, kind of thing. And was there any sort of talent from, as you said, because at the end of the day, you're a fan. You was a fan before you got into this. We kind of touched on it before, where it's kind of like Martin Kirby, obviously one of the best ever. Anybody else that you've kind of been in the ring with, not to gush over him kind of thing, but just be like, it's just a little bit more pressure. Like, I really don't want, I never want to fuck up, but I really don't want to fuck up.
So absolutely. So I used to go to a lot of Resurgence shows before I started wrestling Resurgence. it's such a good fun little promotion, and they put on so well-rounded cards of wrestling. But they've got a bit of everything for everyone. They've got great, they've got great comedy matches right alongside real serious gritty stuff. And it's they had the magic xylophone match the other month, the bluey magic xylophone match the other month, which was incredible. And little stuff like that, but they love that. So I think it's a lot of the guys that I was watching when I was watching that, when I was going as a fan to watch those. They're not obviously they're just people like just the first time. I mean, when I first started, I think everyone does this. When I first started, I hope everyone does this. I'm not just a weirdo. When I first started, I made a little list of people I thought I'd be really good to ref these. So people like DeReese, people like Gene Money, people like Charles Crowley, people like Spike Trivet, like they're all big guys in Resurgence, big characters, and they were some of my favourites. So when I first got to kind of work with them, or the cards came out and I saw I was working with them, and I got really lucky to start working with Resurgence and started working with those guys. It was like, okay, this is I need to be on my game. I want to be on my game here. I want to impress.
That's it. Like you say, you're putting the pressure on yourself. Obviously, you smashed it. It wasn't a one and done job. It was like, we're not inviting Danny back. Like, well, you must have done a good job to come on back. Spike Trivet though, says like how nice is that? Not to again. Not, I don't want to ruin kayfabe or anything like that.
It's horrible. It's horrible. No, not
really. But if you're lucky enough to catch him on a good day, we'll say. He's lovely, isn't he? He's just. I mean, I've seen a bit. Obviously, I work closely with Tidal, and he's obviously currently, Tidal's champion. Just hearing him cut promos, after the matches. I've got to speak to him after a show. I've got a picture of my son. My oldest is 6. So I've started taking him to. He comes to Tidal with me, kind of thing.
Nice.
Picture of Spike with him, kind of thing, and he was talking to him for about 10 minutes. So my voice was like that. I was just like a tear in my eye. I was like, oh.
He's the promoter. One of the promoters at Resurgence. This little girl is like Spike's biggest fan, and they're like best friends. It's lovely seeing them. As much as Spike is not a very nice man in the ring. It's And I'll tell you another one that was quite a big one for me was the first time I worked in a cage. So Fight Factory have got this big, old school, pretty solid steel cage. That's like, it's really intimidating when you get in there. And the first match I did in the cage, so I think I would have been reffing for about 4 months or something like that at this point. And I got to do. They had a King of the Cage show, which they have every year. And the first half of the show is always is just in a ring. Second half, the cage goes round and it gets serious. And it's in a big old church, so it looks amazing. But the first time I got in there, and the first time I did the Fight Factory World. It was the women's world champion against the world champion, Laurie against Ivy, and it was in a cage. And I was like, I remember standing there and like at the start of this match, when I'd seen the entrances come in, kind of getting my bearings in this cage, thinking this is incredible. How am I here? I've been on shows for 4 months. How am I here? So yeah, that was another one where I kind of felt the pressure a little bit.
Mate, again, as a fan, speaking from this side kind of thing, obviously we're sat in the audience, the cage looks impressive, from here. I can only imagine, even though it's a cage, and obviously, you can see through it, it's, there's gaps everywhere. I can imagine it being not claustrophobic, but definitely kind of a sense of I'm enclosed, even though I know that's the point of it. And
yeah, you can feel it. You can definitely feel it. It's like you say, not quite claustrophobic, but you can tell you're not. You can tell there's something there.
Get out of the ring quick if needs be, kind of thing. It's just kind of like.
Yeah.
But as a ref, then obviously, you guys don't really get out the ring unless the talent does anyway. But just that not being able to is that kind of like, it shouldn't be a factor, but it is a factor. It's something you're thinking about, and just being like, you've still got the same amount of space to work. You're still in the ring, but does it just make it feel smaller? Was you kind of bit like second guessing, like, where am I going? Am I doing this? Am I doing that?
It takes a bit of, it definitely takes getting used to, because it's just another element that's there. It's the same with if you have a match with a ring with no ropes. I did a Resurgence show last year where it was a bit of a sort of variety show, and there's like strongmen on there and stuff, and all sorts, and a bit of wrestling, and then the comedy, the light relief of the show was Gene Money wrestling Terrible Ted, which was Will Cruz dressed as a bear. Watch it if you get a chance to go and watch it. It's on YouTube. It's brilliant. But there was no ropes on that ring, so in the same way as obviously the cage is kind of and not just another thing you've got in your mind. The fact there's no ropes again also doesn't help with your bearings, because you can't quite see necessarily where you are. I was just very worried I was going to step backwards and go out of the ring. Yeah, so it was. It's just anything where it's a little bit different just kind of throw you off a little bit.
I'm surprised, especially like the rope thing. Obviously, the cage is weird, but at least you kind of like, you're not going to fall out kind of thing. But because obviously, you guys, again, when you're moving around, I love footwork when it comes to wrestlers, but footwork for refs as well is key kind of thing, because you're doing a lot of backtracking. You're not looking where you're going half the time, because obviously you move where you're moving back. It just must be nice, like if you go back a step too far, I've got a rope on my back. Right?
Yeah,
that rope's not there.
You are. Yeah.
I presume you use certain parts of the ring just as a little guiding line kind of thing, like that.
You sort of got to, you've got to very quickly sort of notice where there's little things that you can sort of see. Okay, well, if I see that little crease there, I know I'm right on the edge. I've got I suppose you've got to kind of do that.
Oh, dude, can't even. Yeah, mate, that was that would be kudos to you for that one. I'll tip my hat with that.
It's very weird.
Just a one-off though. You've not done it again. Just
not since. Not done another one of those since.
Making a habit of it. Not recommending it to anyone. Not suggesting that we have any no rope.
No, it made for a lovely visual. It was a really nice. It was kind of very different to what you'd normally sort of expect as a visual on a show. But it was not something I can see myself doing again. I can't imagine.
If you did, a great protest.
Well, no, you know what? I don't mind doing it. It's just I don't think there's much call for it, to be honest.
It's more of a death match thing. I've seen a few no rope matches, but the death match side of things. So I'm going to be announcing a new series coming to the channel soon. With that in mind, I've got to ask. I'm going to kind of sidebar. Death matches. Have you refereed any death matches? Have you been involved in that side of things yet? Is it something that you're looking at and being like, I wonder.
I haven't, but I fancy having a go. I'm not sure if it'd be something I'd do a lot of, but I'd quite fancy having a go. I think Steve and Scott and those guys have kind of got that wrapped up there. They know exactly what they're doing. They are great at it. But I'd quite like to sort of jump in and just do maybe one or two. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Something else to do, isn't it? It's just another string to the bow. Kind of thing, out there, gets you in a different circle and gets you meeting new people and that. Because again, I've spoken to a lot of deathmatch people, and it is very much there's a group of people that kind of know everybody and they kind of travel around a lot. You see a lot of similar faces, a lot of different promotions.
Deathmatch Outlaws. That's what I think. I believe they're and
guys like that kind of thing. It's just I just thought it'd be, as a ref, I can just imagine it being again different. It's like something like, I've done this. I've never done this, and I'm kind of curious about it.
It would be. I think it'd be quite daunting, but I'd quite fancy, because you never, one of those matches, you never know what's going to happen, do you? You never know. It's something can go south very quickly. But it's I think it's one of those where I think it would be good to have a go and just see what it's like, really. I
just think, man, personally, so I just had a mental image. If I was a ref and I got told I was doing one, mate, I'm getting like a full freaking bomb squad suit. And I'm just coming out like that referee, and like I said, I'm coming.
I definitely want notice. I definitely want notice of it so I can prepare myself. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I've got so exactly. Well, good. I've got. I train with and work obviously at Fight Factory with Jack Bennett quite a lot, who does a lot of increasing amount at the minute of deathmatch stuff. Loves his syringe through the cheek spot, which I think AEW stole the other week. I saw. Yeah. But he, I've got in my ref bag, I've got what I call the Bennett gloves, which come out during his matches. That because even at Fight Factory, while he's not doing full death matches, he's still using thumbtacks a lot and Lego and all manner of other shards of he loves a Tupperware box. He loves a big, really useful box, and smashing people into those and smashing them over people's heads. So yeah, I've got my Bennett gloves that come out for his matches.
I'll let you get going soon, dude. I've just clocked the time. I am going to rewind for a second, but I am going to pull you up on something you just said. You said thumbtacks, and that is that's the key thing of tell me you're a wrestling fan without telling me you're a wrestling fan.
Yes,
thumbtacks, not drawing pins.
Yeah, not drawing pins. Yeah. Oh, sorry, my cat. Yeah. Cat decided to walk across the.
Right, but straight after thumbtacks, you said Lego.
Yes. Yeah.
Please tell me. Years ago, I was witness to one of the most brutal matches I've ever seen at Tidal, and it was a Lego death match. Started off as Andy Starr versus JD Boom in Leeds, and when I saw the match, I was like, Lego death match, that'll be funny. The match started about 30 seconds into it. It went from laughter to just being like, oh,
yeah.
You realise the memories come back of just standing on one piece of Lego and being like, imagined.
Been smashed into it. I can't imagine anything I'd like less, or very little anyway. Apologies. Get out of the way.
That's what I do. I normally get involved. Used to a cat getting involved. It's normally on this end, though. To be fair, so
I can't imagine many things worse than being slammed into Lego. It just like you say, you only have to tread on one piece, and you're in agony. So yeah,
just made me laugh.
Can't be nice.
But unless you know, your initial reaction is to laugh at it and be like Lego, and then you think about it, it's like, no.
So I did a month or so ago. I did a vegan street fight at PEW, which was very funny. It was the vegan Prescott versus Fordy. The vegan Prescott is a militant vegan, as you'd imagine, and he won the right to choose the stipulation of his match, and he chose a vegan street fight. So I've never before or since at a show heard a chant for a pineapple in my life. There's pineapples, cucumbers. He had what looked like what you thought was going to be a bag of thumbtacks, and then he tipped it upside down. It was lentils and beans. Yeah, that was good fun. That was good fun.
See, though, my eyes. You see, as soon as you said pineapple, I was like, that could be horrific, depending on safety words could be said there. It could be like kangaroo. Dude, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for just joining me and having a talk. Where can people find you on the socials to sort of see where you're at and what shows are going on?
So I am at Ref Danny Marks on Twitter or X or whatever it is, and Instagram. I think I'm Danny Marks Pro Wrestling Referee on Facebook. I don't really use my Facebook very often. So yeah, I'm that's where I am. I always try and post posters of where I am and that kind of thing, and keep people updated. So yeah, hope to see some people at shows soon.
Obviously, hopefully, just obviously, we'll tag you and stuff. Ash, who runs our Instagram, will get you tagged in on the Insta post when this is uploaded. Obviously, I'll tag you up on Twitter. If you're not following Danny on either, please do so. If there's a show on near you that Danny is reffing, go check it out. Say hi. Always respect the authority, though. But An absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. I'm just so hopefully for your first time, I was gentle. I was one who said kangaroo. No safety words needed.
No, you're very good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I've really enjoyed it.
We'll do it again at some point down the line. And but yeah, to everybody else, as always, thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the generic stuff I ask you to do every episode. We'll see you again very soon. As I kind of touched upon earlier, we do have a new thing coming out next month called Deathmatch Wrestling for Dummies, or just cross out the dummies and then put Nick in there. I'll be joined by Mr. Radu Bulat. We'll be having guests on as well, and we'll just be talking about Radu's favourite death matches, and he'll be talking to me about them. And I think we're starting with Mick Foley versus Terry Funk from the Japanese Deathmatch tournament in '95, which is a brutal. So yeah, apparently I was like, I've seen bits of it. Obviously, being a massive Mick Foley fan kind of thing, so I've seen bits of it. I've never seen it as a whole. So I'm just kind of sat here talking about the cheek spot thing. I saw that a few months ago. Mr. Bulat sent me that. It was from a match a couple of years ago. There's a dude in America that always does it, and I was literally trying to speak to him for about a week afterwards, and I was like, mate, what have you just made me watch? That spot was horrific. But yeah, so that's coming up soon. So for my punishment, you'll get a better idea of what's going on with Deathmatch Wrestling. But Danny, thank you so much, mate. And yeah, we'll see you all again very soon.
Thank you.